The U.S. government machine just will not die. Think about it. We had Trump elected in 2016, and right before then and through his entire presidency, they just fought tooth and nail. We had the Steele dossier before his presidency. We had Obama spying on Trump. That has been confirmed. We had the Russia hoax, the Very Fine People hoax, the impeachments, the fact that the military lied to Trump to his face about what was going on in Syria and several other places in the Middle East. We had, after Trump lost in 2020, we had the hush money scandal, which obviously is a nothing burger. We had the business documents lawsuit, the business fraud lawsuit. We had the classified documents scandal, which was also just a nothing burger because Biden did the same thing and nothing happened to him. And, when Biden was president, which he still is, but for only 5 more days, thank God, I think it felt like it should have been the death rattle of the machine, because especially with the fact that the people said no to all this, it should have been a death rattle, because Biden was a nothing president. I mean, this is someone who was literally puppeted by the government. Like, this was the government's last-ditch attempt to maintain power, the machine's last-ditch attempt, I should say, to maintain power, because once they kind of lost their grip on him, once people realized what everyone was already saying, which is that he has dementia, he's mentally incompetent, he's incapable of being president, once that came to light and people actually understood and agreed with that, they lost everything, right? And one would think that the government would have just died out. But just like a cornered animal, they just won't give up. Because, it's really for them life or death. Because if they fail, the machine is dead. And what I mean by that is they're still going for it. Now they're trying to hold up Trump's confirmations. A lot of them, be it, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, I believe RFK as well, and possibly Kash Patel. I'm not entirely certain on that one, but I'll have to check into that. But they're being held up on paperwork grounds, right? So basically they're saying that, the paperwork didn't get done fast enough. The Office of Government Ethics hasn't cleared them fast enough, so we can't do the confirmation hearings right now. And it's like they're just trying to hold things up. And now the SEC is suing Elon, which is what this video is going to be about, right? So they're suing Elon over a nothing burger. They're literally saying that he bought some Twitter stock, right? 5%, and didn't file the correct paperwork in time. Now, I'm in finance, so let me give you a little background on what's going on here. So basically, whenever you buy 5 or 10% of a stock, you have to basically send out a form to the SEC that basically is just a declaration that you own this, right? You have to make shareholders aware that you have purchased this and that you hold this much stock, right? And you have 10 days, you have 30 days to do it, right? And with this, Elon sent in the form. It was 11 days late. And apparently that's enough for them to sue him. Now, here's what they're alleging. They're basically saying that the fact that he owned 5% of Twitter meant that he bought the stock for less than what he should have bought it for, which is already stupid because he bought the stock at an overvalued price. It wasn't at the price that he said he would buy it at. He said he'd buy it at, I believe, either $52 or $55. I'd have to check again. But in either case, the stock was trading around $40-ish before he, said he would buy it. And then it traded up to the price that he said he would buy it at. And he ended up paying $44 billion for a crappy company that he's made markedly better, right? Now let's talk about what 5% amounted to at the time. When Musk bought Twitter, that's about $150 million worth of Twitter stock, which is a splash in the ocean when it comes to, literally a drop in the ocean when it comes to $44 billion. The SEC is filing a suit, suing Elon because he didn't declare fast enough. He did declare, but he didn't declare fast enough that he owed $150 million of Twitter when he paid $44 billion for Twitter, and they're saying that he underpaid. When, doing the math on that, I'd have to check how many shares of Twitter there was, but I'd bet you that's $1 per share, if not less. That's less than that. What am I saying? It's not $1 per share. There's way less shares of that. There's probably around 50 cents a share maybe when he already overpaid. It's insane that the government is trying so hard to screw over Trump. And at this point, they're doing it by his proxies because they found that they couldn't screw Trump because they convicted him. He's a felon now. They sentenced him to nothing, but he's a felon now. It didn't stop him. Can't stop Trump, right? And once they realized that attacking Trump directly doesn't work, now they're trying to attack his subordinates. They're trying to attack, Elon. They're trying to attack RFK. They're trying to attack Tulsi. We just saw them last night attacking the hell out of Pete Hegseth and just saying he's so unqualified, this, that, and the other. And it's like, honestly, when it comes to Congress, a particularly bright chicken could do the jobs of most people in Congress. And by most, I mean there's a couple of really good eggs in there, but for the most part, a particularly bright chicken would be just as good, if not better, than them. Either way, it's wild, man. Let's get into this. From The Guardian. U.S. sues Elon Musk for allegedly failing to disclose early Twitter stock purchase. Financial regulator alleges Musk later acquired shares of company at artificially low prices, stiffing shareholders, which is already bullshit because it was overinflated when he bought it. A U.S. financial regulator has sued Elon Musk for allegedly failing to disclose his ownership of Twitter stock and later acquiring shares in the company at artificially low prices, stiffing other shareholders. The SEC filed a suit against Elon Musk late on Tuesday in federal court in Washington, D.C. for alleged security violations. According to the suit, Musk did not disclose that he had acquired a 5% stake in the company in a timely manner, which allowed him to underpay by at least $150 million for shares he purchased after his financial beneficial ownership report was due. Musk bought Twitter in 2022 for $44 billion and later renamed it X. Before the purchase, Musk bought the 5% stake in the company, which typically requires a public disclosure. The SEC alleges that it wasn't until 11 days after the report was due that Elon Musk disclosed his ownership in Twitter. Alex Spiro, a lawyer for Musk, said in an emailed statement that the SEC's case amounted to an admission that the agency had no case. Musk, Spiro said, has done nothing wrong and everyone sees this sham for what it is, which it is a sham. I mean, literally, what'll happen with this? They don't sue you for this. They fine you sometimes if they really hate you, but most of the time it's just a slap on the wrist. They don't get mad at this. I mean, the SEC is retarded, but they don't get mad at this. It's not the first time the SEC looked into Musk's purchase of Twitter. The agency launched an investigation into Musk and his brother Kimball Musk in 2021 over alleged securities fraud and violations of insider trading rules after they sold tens of thousands of shares in Tesla. Musk is the CEO of Tesla and his brother sits on the board of directors. Spiro said the SEC lawsuit was the result of an alleged administrative failure to file a single form. He added that the SEC's multi-year campaign of harassment against Mr. Musk culminated in the filing of a single-count ticky-tack complaint against Mr. Musk. Over the past several months, Musk has forged a tight relationship with Donald Trump. Musk donated millions to his re-election effort and campaigned with him. Trump has since named Musk head of an advisory group, which Trump claims he will create, called the Department of Government Efficiency, meant to oversee government regulations and spending. In this lawsuit, the SEC said that before Musk's delayed disclosure of his ownership in Twitter, he allegedly spent more than $500 million purchasing additional shares in the company and was able to buy the stock from the unsuspecting public at artificially low prices. Yes, because offering an extra $15, $20 per share is artificially low prices. That's what it is. Because the fact that the company was not even valued anywhere near $44 billion, when it was, I think its valuation was somewhere around $25 billion at the time. And he said, I'll pay $44 billion for it, which, honestly, genius move, right? That's great financial moves, right? I mean, obviously it's okay because Musk is not going to lose sleep over $44 billion, but also, that's not exactly financially savvy, right? Now, I think that Musk bought Twitter more so for the fact that he wanted more free speech, which he's made it more free speech, not all the way, but more. But I don't think he was doing it necessarily for financial gain. I think that he's going to gain financially from it, but I think that he wanted to try to make internet discourse more free and more fair, right? Which I think he's kind of done. Now, with this lawsuit, I really think that the SEC is just really, like I said, is like a cornered animal. It's just trying to find any way to preserve itself, because I think that DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiencies, is going to really, really cut into the SEC because they do unnecessary stuff all the time. Think about all the people who do insider trading and, they do it. But it's not insider trading because there's a loophole, right? Like, think about the big banks who are doing front running, who are doing, payment for order flow, which is literally front running, right? And this, that, and the other. And the fact that you can track this order flow, but that's not insider trading. Even though they know the information before the order places, it's not front running. It's not insider trading. None of that. Nope, not illegal. I think there's a lot of things the SEC does that hinders the U.S. markets, and I think that the that Doge is going to help cut back some of that, hopefully, and hopefully help cut some of the SEC's budget, because obviously we do need some regulation, because I don't know if you guys know the story of the onion futures scandal. I don't know if it was really a scandal, but I'll give you a little story time here. So back in the 1900s, I believe it was in the 1930s area, onions were a future. And futures are basically contracts where you basically say, you know, I want to buy this commodity, this whatever, for this price at this date in the future, right? So these two brothers, or two partners, whatever they were, they cornered the market on onions. They started buying up all the onion futures they could until they pretty much owned literally like 90 to 100% of the onion futures market, right? Which meant that they owned all the onions available. And then once they owned them all, there was an onion shortage. So they sold them to people at overly inflated prices and drove onion prices through the roof. People were upset. It was a bad time, right? And so at this point, onions are no longer traded on the futures markets because of the fact that, you know, they cornered the market on onions. So regulations are necessary to a degree in the markets, because otherwise you get bad actors with too much money doing some dumb shit that, you know, just screws over everyone. But I think the SEC is very bloated. I think it needs to be cut back a lot, because what it does hinders the markets, hinders the commerce, the economy, right? It makes it harder for everyone to do anything. It makes it impossible for people in finance to do any sort of, you know, investing or anything like that, and so on and so forth, where, you know, they treat people like they're retarded. They treat people like they don't know what the hell's going on, like they're just stupid little babies, when obviously not a lot of people know about how the stock market works, but they're smart enough to know not to do stupid stuff, and if they're not, well, survival of the fittest, right? And, you know, I think the SEC is putting up too many guardrails, making it too hard for people, and yeah, they need to be cut back. It's just too bloated now. Just like the rest of the government, it's all just too bloated. Either way, that's where I'm going to leave this one, guys. Next segment's coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to smash the like button. Comment down below. Tell me your opinion, because I know this could be, you know, a little contentious. Maybe my opinion isn't the same as yours. Subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Thanks. See you guys then.